Divorce laws are being changed to allow couples to separate without the need to find blame for the breakdown of their marriage. At the moment, unless someone can prove that their partner has cheated or shown unreasonable behaviour towards them, the only way to actually get a divorce from their partner without their permission is to live apart for 5 years.
Well, let's take a look at some of the numbers. Divorces amongst opposite-sex couples in England and Wales have actually decreased in recent years. In 2017, over 100,000 couples separated.
But divorce among same-sex couples is up. There were nearly 350 divorces in 2017. That's 3 times as many as the previous year.
Currently, people who want to get divorced have to give evidence of at least 1 of 5 facts showing that the other person is at fault. But the new proposals remove the need for those facts. Instead, one or both parties write a letter to the court telling them the marriage has broken down.
There would then be a minimum time frame of 6 months before a final divorce is granted to give the couple the opportunity to reconsider. Justice Secretary David Gauke has told Sky News it is time to bring the laws up to date.
Many have long argued that our current divorce laws do mean that couples separate and divorce in a more acrimonious way than they would otherwise do so. And so I think it's right that we reform this and work on a more modern, up-to-date system that means it's less acrimonious. And particularly, I think, when children are involved, it's important that parents, although no longer married to each other, that their relationship can be as positive as possible.
Let's speak to a divorce lawyer at BLM, Daniel Jones. Daniel, hello to you. So the Justice Secretary sort of implying that this is a no-brainer, really. Same thing that you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. This piece of legislation was actually put in place in 1996, but was repealed by the government and the Parliament of the day. So it's nothing radical, it's nothing new, it's bringing it into the 21st century.
What do you think about some of the criticisms I've seen that this makes divorce all too easy? Maybe in a way it could lead to greater stress just because you can submit a statement of sort of intent to divorce, which could create animosity anyway.
Well, it actually slows the process down. These proposals actually build in a cooling off period for 6 months, which simply doesn't exist at this stage. Going back to the stress point, parties who are often separating are separating in difficult circumstances. So I think this minimises the stress and will actually help people deal with things in a more amicable way.
One of the things that's been highlighted throughout this process is that it does increase animosity between the two parties. As a divorce lawyer yourself, is that something that you've seen directly, the fact that they have to apportion blame?
Absolutely. Quite often parties come in and see me and they don't want to apportion blame, but they equally don't want to wait for either 2 years or longer to get divorced. So it's a really good step that we can take the acrimony out of it.
Just out of interest, for you and divorce lawyers, does it actually mean less work and potentially less pay?
It does mean less work, but it's welcomed because we can go and focus on the real issues, which are going to be what the financial arrangements are and, more importantly, what the arrangements for any children are going to be.
And it's important, I suppose, to point out as well, as one of our previous guests was saying, is that it doesn't actually make it that much easier because you still have to go through the process of, conflict over children if there are children and property and things like that, because there's no change to that aspect. Is that right? That's
correct. And then the system that we have, the 2-stage system, which is decree nisi, which is essentially the halfway stage in the divorce, and decree absolute, the final order of the court that brings the marriage to a legal end, is still there. So the process still is very familiar. All we're taking out with these proposals is the acrimony in relation to getting over the legal hurdle of irretrievable breakdown of the marriage.
Why has it taken so long, the first overhauling of these laws in 50 years?
It beats me, unfortunately. As I said earlier, these proposals are identical or thereabouts to the Family Law Act 1996, which actually put these proposals into law. However, the government of the day repealed the legislation, so it's taken too long. And the case of Tinny Owens from last year highlights how unhappy these current measures and legislation make people.
Yeah, just on that point, that case you reference of course, the ability of a partner to contest a divorce is also going to be scrapped under this change. That's only used in under 2% of cases, according to the Ministry of Justice, but they say it's misused by abusers to continue controlling behaviour. But is it a concern that the ability to contest a divorce is now scrapped? Is there no potential problem there that you foresee?
There is a potential problem, and it relates to the matrimonial finances. So there will need to be some safeguards, and I think the government will have to look at that carefully. A party could try and push through a divorce to bar financial claims of the spouse. So that's a concern, and there's a obvious opportunity there for financial abuse.
So yeah, not quite as tight as things could be. Daniel, thank you for speaking to us today.
Thank you very much.